How you doing, Michael Superbacker? Nice to see you this morning. I got a question in the poll here this morning. Folks joining in on the channel here this morning. Have you heard of an airdrop? I know covered Web 3.0 a little while back. I just want to know if you guys have airdrop. And I don't mean like something stinky, like breaking wind or, crop dusting. That's not what we're talking about here. Good morning, Michael Superbacker. Nice to see you here this morning. Brody is in the house. That's right. Got a good show for you here today. Got my serious hat on, my serious jacket on. I'm dressed to the folks here. It's Friday. It's Yabba Dabba Doo Day. We're getting set to lie down that dinosaur's tail here this morning. So why don't we just take a minute and arrive here on the channel with you folks here. Who we got? Benson and friends. Benson's in the house. Thanks for joining here this morning, Benson. Glad you could join us. Nice to see you here this morning. We got an interesting show. We got some articles, some particles, and some ultrasonic particles. Time capsule in the house. Thanks for joining. Glad you could make it here. Let's have a talk. Gonna have to have a talk. Everything's working just right here. Some interesting news I found on Reddit and a few other places I'm going to share with you here today. Brody's might have poked the bear over on the Twitter feed. Astrid Media, how you doing? Glad you could join us. You are part of my morning routine. That's what I mean. Thank you. That's where I want to be. No matter where you got me. You got me hanging from the rear view mirror, maybe sitting on the dash of the car, wherever you got Brody. Wherever you are, I want to thank you all for taking me along for the ride here. We got a really good show here this morning. Got some articles and particles, a couple of interesting things to go over. I'm going to touch on some cryptocurrency this morning, how to get free stuff. Free things, the best things in life are free. You can get it from the birds and bees. I want money. That's what I want. I want some money. Yeah, yeah. Whoa, yeah, I want money. That's what I want. Whatever your financial goals, you just want a fat stack of cash, or you saving for the future, you got your eye on maybe a new car, something. What are you in this game for? What do you want out of Magic the Gathering? What are you doing with your finance? How much money are you willing to spend on some fun on the weekend on Magic cards? Wherever your financial position may be, there's a place in it for everybody. I'm going to go over some articles here this morning. It's going to be good. We're going to talk stock desk. We're going to look at some movers and the shakers here this morning. Got a couple of articles to share with you folks today. But before we do that, let's warm up here. Let's get some folks in the stream. Let's make sure that let's switch it up here. It's Friday. Let's switch up. It's Friday. Let's look at the all list here. We're going to switch it up for everybody who's tuning in on the channel. We're going to switch it up here today. Why not? Let's do something a little differently, right? Let's stand this stream on its head. All right? How does that sound? Let's do it. Michael Superbackers in the house. We got 5 folks here. Let's start the show. Good morning, folks. How are you doing? The amazing fans of Magic the Gathering who love this game as much as we do. Thanks again for tuning in. I'm just going to make sure my mic is up, my mic is on, and the show is coming in loud and clear. How you doing, folks? It's Brody. Today is April 21st, 2023. I want to thank you folks for joining me here again on the morning show. This is Brody Alfonso talking at the stock desk. Talking at the talk desk. That's right. How you doing? If I'm part of your morning routine, if you know what I mean, it feels good to be online and chatting with you folks today. Thanks for a fine Friday edition of Morning Magic Stocks and Talks. I got a special edition for you here today. It's going to be a really good show. On that being said, do you like tracking the prices of Magic cards? Is there enough information out there, or is there just too much information? Prices go up, metagames get solved, new spoilers come out, cards get leaked. Things happen in the world of Magic the Gathering so fast that if you wait until the weekend, it's probably not news. So if you want some news as it's happening, I'm checking these articles, I'm checking these prices each and every day. Let me do it for you. I'm here on the morning show. This is the bro to the D. Thanks for hanging with me. Wherever you've got Brody here this morning, you got me in the back pocket, hanging from the rear view mirror of the car. Maybe you got me on the dash. Don't leave me on the roof and pull out of the parking lot. Whatever you do, I want to thank you folks for tuning in each and every day on the channel. It's the best part of my day hanging out with you folks quite often. It's all downhill after that. No, I'm the working man for the working man, doing the best that I can to bring you some coverage in this crazy mixed up world of Magic the Gathering, to find out what's going on, what's happening in the world as it's happening, and do a little chat and discussion. I want to hear from you. I'd like to know, have you ever heard of an airdrop? Now, I'm not talking about something stinky. I'm not talking about crop dusting. I'm not talking about, maybe something that smells funny. We talked about Web 3.0 a couple of weeks ago on the stream on the morning show. I brought it here. First person in Magic the Gathering to bring that to the world, nigh the multiverse, nigh the entire realm. First person to bring Web 3.0 and buying Magic cards online using Web 3 technology. If you haven't checked out that stream, I suggest checking it out to get up to date. But say you've been joining us each and every morning when we talk stocks, Magic the Gathering, and the most sophisticated ways to buy cards. Yeah, there's ways to buy cards with cryptocurrency. There's ways to buy cards with cash money. You can always trade. But we're going to talk about airdrops just a little bit here this morning. And what is an airdrop? Something you can get for free, right? Uh, I guess we could look it up. An airdrop is a proprietary, what is Apple called? We're not talking about an Apple airdrop. We're not talking about sending a file to your neighbor, or hanging out under a plane and sending a picture to the pilot. An airdrop, it's when it comes to cryptocurrency, it's generally a free distribution of coins to addresses that will accept them. Now, in the early days of the internet and Web 1.0, when we had email, everybody got themselves an email address. I hope you probably have an email address. And if you want to contact Brody, you can email AlphonsoInvestmentsLLC@gmail.com. That's an address. That's where you can find me. That's where you can contact me. But with cryptocurrency, everybody, and if you've set up a wallet on your browser, and if you're using Web 3.0, if you set it up, you've got yourself a receive address. So you can generate an address, and you can generate a different address for any number of people to send send coins, or send currency. And that's what you'll see if you see those QR codes. That's what's popular these days, those square, looks like a cheese grater kind of a looking thing, a square black and white thing that you can scan with your phone. So it's usually a really big long number. It's 32 digits, letters and numbers all mixed together. And then what happens with an airdrop is that if you participate in certain projects, they will send out free tokens, or free coins, or free money to the people who participate in those projects. Now, if you haven't heard of Hex or Richard Hart, or if you haven't heard of Pulse Chain, or if you haven't heard of Ethereum, or you haven't heard of Bitcoin, or you haven't heard, if you've been living in a cave for the last decade and you haven't heard of any of these things, let me tell you about it now, because the world's largest airdrop is going to take place on the Pulse Chain network. it could happen at any time. We don't actually know when that's going to happen, but I've been following it a little bit. But the one I want to talk about is the one I want to talk about. So the best things in life are free. If you get involved in some of these stuff, there's actually free stuff now. It's not really. It's funny because generally when you get the free stuff, it's not worth anything, worth very little. But over time, when we're talking about investing, we're talking about putting stuff on the shelf and letting it sit there, just like anything else, just like a box of magic cards. Time in the market tends to change all things. So we're going to look at a project today that I find very interesting, that if you're using Web 3.0 and you have an address, you can generate free coins. So we're going to take a look at that. We're going to take a look at the price of Hasbro stock. We're going to take a look at some articles from the news desk to see what's going on. Hasbro has likely going to be reporting a loss this year. So that should be pretty interesting news for you folks today. Got an article for you folks to read. Could be a bit of a fumble that happened over at the Hasbro stock. So we're going to talk. We're going to talk about a few things here. Leave me a comment in the comment section below. Thanks for reporting in. Private Brody reporting for duty here this morning, working hard at the stock desk to bring you folks amazing Magic the Gathering news. All right, let's get into it. Sacre bleu. Where's my screen? Place on the screen, if you know what I mean. Bam, bam, shabam. All right, this article is coming to you folks from Barron here this morning. Hasbro earnings could be a fumble. Cummins and you don't say, right? Let's take a look at the price of Hasbro stock real quick. Let's just do that. I want to take a look at the price of Hasbro stock and see what they're talking about. We've been tracking the price of Hasbro stock for a while now. Let's look at it. See what these folks are talking about. I'll give you a little bit of context for you folks here today. Tuning in on the stock test, who we got? We got Hasbro stock down 2.3% in a day. It's down $1.11 over the week, and in the month, this sucker has been trying to rally and make a comeback, but it doesn't look too promising for the folks over at Hasbro. Have another look here this morning. Hasbro stock, and then the year down 17% on the year. 5-year chart. This sucker looks terrible. Brody just wants to get his epic pencil. Look at this sucker. There's a lot of downward pressure on this stock. So earnings report, let's get to it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about what to expect here. In the next April 27th, I believe, is when the earnings report. Like if you want to know how the world of finance works, we cut the world up, we cut the year up into 4 quarters. Right? 25 cents. No, we cut the world up in 4 quarters. And each publicly traded company's got to give an earnings report to see whether or not they made money in the last quarter. But Hasbro earnings could be a fumble, as Dungeons & Dragons is a critical catalyst for growth. Hasbro is expected to report a first quarter loss on April 27th, but the long-term performance of Dungeons & Dragons franchise could be just what the company needs. Now, they're still in talks with suitors to purchase the E1 brand. That's an offshoot. So they're currently trying to sell off part of the company to suitors who are willing to pay. Maybe that's an idea to raise capital, but Wall Street analysts are expecting the toy maker to post a loss of 1 cent a share on sales of $877 million. That's a major decline from the same period last year when the company posted earnings of 57 cents a share on the sales of 1.16 billion. So that's an interesting article here from Barron's coming to you from the stock desk. Folks, it's going to be a little bit of a rough year for the folks over at Wizards. So let's settle up and talk about some leaked Magic cards. So if your wallet has been leaking and you're not exactly sure where the money's going, it's inflation. It seems like everything but the working man's wages is going up, unless you're working for Big Brother. The leaked, we got another article here by Raleigh Hicks. Leaked new Magic tribal support may warp multiple formats. So there's been some more leaks, and we have seen leaks before, right? There's been a leak in the boat, a leak in the payroll. Folks over at WotC, is that a leak in the payroll? Let's check it out. Magic the Gathering spoiler season suddenly reignited thanks to uploading an entire collector booster being opened of an unreleased set. It was an official release, so it's not 100% guaranteed to be authentic cards, but these cards look very credible. There's a high chance that this is the real deal. There's a lot of powerful cards leaked because of this video, but one of these cards looks like it could be a massive powerhouse in the modern format. Before going any further, in case you want to wait for March of the Machine, the Aftermath official release to see these cards, treat this as a spoiler warning. There's still a chance these cards are not real, but likely is the Nissa the Resurgent Animus finds Evoke Elemental. So we've got some leaks here. Folks somehow getting their hands on booster packs early of this new set. What do they call it? Man, there's so much just to keep up on. Who's that YouTuber? Aftermath, leaking some Aftermath. Okay, so we got Nissa the Resurgent Animist, legendary creature, Elf Scout for a green and 2, landfall. Whenever land enters the battlefield under your control, add 1 mana of any color. Then, if it's the second time this ability has triggered this turn, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal an elf or elemental. Put that card into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library. So, some elf tribal support here. Many players are worried that, especially after the lackluster ending of March of the Machine story, that the end of Phyrexia arc would be devoid of consequences, even though this storyline outlined a scenario where the entire MTG multiverse was at stake. The end of the arc tied things up with a bow a little too well. It's a bow, Brody. They tied it up with a bow. At least that's what many thought until March of the Machine. The aftermath was spoiled. It turns out that many planeswalkers have lost their spark due to the results of the Phyrexian arc, but that does not mean that the cards are any weaker. In fact, these cards might even be even stronger than their planeswalker counterparts. So Nissa resurging as a legendary creature rather than a planeswalker is the 3/3 Elf Scout green. Her landfall ability may seem a little similar. Morning Anger Collections may seem similar to Omnath, the Locus of Creation, which single-handedly destroyed the entire standard format. Whenever a land enters the battlefield, much like Lotus Cobra, Nissa Resurgent Animus adds a mana of any color to your mana pool. This effect triggers whenever you play a land. When the ability triggers for the second time each turn, however, it allows you to reveal cards from your library, and then you get to look for an elf or an elemental card and get a hit. So we've got some interesting leaks. The 4-colored elemental deck created and piloted by MTG streamer Respected Cat won a massive modern tournament that occurred in Prague a few weeks ago. Notably, having Karuga as a companion allows the deck to function similarly to Yorion decks. While this card will see modern play, perhaps we're willing to bet that it will. Having the ability to theoretically find and evoke elemental every turn is an incredibly powerful upside, especially when the card function is an overcosted Lotus Cobra outside of that. That said, this is a 3-mana creature that dies to Lightning Bolt, which can only promise to replace itself in the immediate follow-up by a fetch land. Such, there is a chance that the card could be too overcosted, but I think it's powerful enough. Morning, Ali Cahoon. Thanks for joining us here this morning. Benson's in the house. All right. Finally, Nissa should not see play as a 4 of in any of these lists because it can find itself. Playing 4 of these means that the card will end up finding itself instead of 0 mana interactive effect that may require you to find an elf. I would personally start with 1 or 2 of these in your list if you want to try it. Another card that spoiled Kiora, Sovereign of the Deep, Merfolk Noble for 5 mana, 4/5 Vigilance Ward. Whenever you cast a Kraken, Leviathan, Octopus, or Serpent spell from your hand, look at the top X cards of your library where X is that spell's mana value. You may cast the spell with mana value X from among them without paying its mana cost. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So whenever you cast a Kraken, Leviathan, Octopus, or Serpent spell, you're getting some support here with this legendary Merfolk Noble. Kiora Sovereign's a deep. is a fantastic upgrade to any deck that cares about Krakens, Leviathans, Octopi, and Serpents. So not the elemental tribal, but the fact is this spoiler out here also comes with a look at this Sarkhan Soul of Flame, and I think some other folks have already covered this, that the leaks are happening. The past Planeswalker does not. These are all Planeswalkers that have lost their spark and are all now returning as legendary creatures. Arc of the Phyrexia, YouTube should block that video. That guy is completely in the wrong for posting. Good point. Yes, it's hard when you're making content and you're trying to do box openings and bring information to the fold. It's hard to be there first when people are able to get some of their hands on this. So incredible tribal payoffs for the dragon archetype with this new Sarkhan Planeswalker. This one says that dragon spells cost 1 less to cast. Whenever a dragon enters the battlefield under your control, you may have Sarkhan Soul and a flame become a copy of it until end of turn, except that its name, Sarkhan Soul of Flame, is legendary in addition to types. So a lot of these spoilers are making its way out, but like it could be planned. Okay, like we already had we had leaks from Lord of the Rings. We had leaks from the original Phyrexia, I think it was, or Mirrodin, and then like these could just be planned in order to stir up hullabaloo. It could well be a coordinated leak, perhaps. Let me know if you think Brody is absolutely on something this morning. Is it coordinated? Is this planned by Wizards of the Coast to create controversy? There's already enough controversy over YouTube. Maybe this is a reason to uh, maybe it's reason enough to block a video rolling an entire pack of an unreleased set. But ultimately, even though these planeswalkers have been desparked as a result of Phyrexian invasion, they still provide some potent tools for tribal oriented Magic players to try Nissa's potential, even see modern play that makes it a card to watch out for financially. The card, without question, will find a home in any commander landfall deck that is a handful of cards in the elf can find, but the ability to fix mana while finding an evoke elemental every one of your turns seems like such a ridiculous upside. Should all the cards we saw in this league be real? Interesting. All right. So just gonna head on over to Twitter the other day. Um Brody might have poked the bear. I saw somebody. I saw an interesting I saw an interesting post on the internet here. I'm just going to bring it up for you folks because I found it to be quite amusing. A couple of was it a week ago? Let's get the date on it. Let's get the date right here, Brody. Just give me a second here. Somebody posted a AI enhanced and upscaled version of Time Walk on the internet. All right. So let's go back just a couple of days ago. I think it was April 14th. I saw this come across my feed. Somebody had posted online a uh, upscaled version of Amy Weber's Time Walk artwork, saying with the comment that said, I've upscaled and cleaned up the artwork from Amy Weber for the original Time Walk. And I sort of found it myself, I found it in poor taste just because like it's a classic piece of Magic the Gathering history. And I did put a comment on it. In fact, I was the only person to put a comment on the post until Amy Weber herself came along and made a reply to it. So let me just take a look here. stated that that was debatable whether or not it's possible to upscale and clean up some artwork from an original Magic Gathering post, uh, piece of artwork and piece of history. So I'm gonna try and bring that up for you folks here today because I found that was kind of funny because the original poster eventually took the posting down because Amy Weber found it mildly offensive that somebody would claim that they had cleaned up and enhanced the original artwork from the Time Walk card. So let me pull this up for you folks here. Just anybody out there, Magic the Gathering artists, people who are posting on the internet, don't try to retool or re remake any of the original artwork. It didn't seem to go over well for this person. Let's just take a look here on stock test. All right, so this comment here, this one, it got 5 likes. So the original posting was from Living Cards MTG. The fellas offered a public apology for going over the artwork, putting the original artwork from Time Walk, I guess, into an AI and upscaling it and claiming it as their own, maybe, or as a updated version uh, of the art. Here's Brody's comment. The now the original post has been deleted, and I think it's kind of funny, but like for I was sort of over the target, and I didn't realize. So if you folks hear about this on the internet in the world of Magic the Gathering about the original artist from the artwork of Time Walk, having a little bit to say about people uploading the art into the AI and upscaling it, touching it up, revisiting it. I found it, mildly. I found it kind of low effort in a sense myself. So the original comment was, I've upscaled and cleaned up the original artwork from Time Walk, something to that effect. And my comment was, that's debatable. I was the only person who commented on this. I got 5 people looked at it, but then the artist who put that in there, this is some online drama. I think it's kind of funny. I said that's debatable, and the fella who revisited the Time Walk art gave me a question mark back, saying question mark. Because I mean, I think it's debatable whether you can upscale or improve on something like that, like original. Like, who would take the original Black Lotus and say, I've improved the artwork from Black Lotus? To me, that's debatable. I would say, you can't improve on perfection. In fact, I did mean this. I said it's possible to improve perfection. And since then, this fella has uh, deleted the tweet. So one of the Magic the Gathering artists there, Amy, was kind of upset. So if you hear about that, if you're an artist out there, don't be treading on original artists because they don't like it when you rework your stuff and claim it as your own and try to get publicity off of somebody else's work. Seems interesting. All right, we got another. But I mean, this fella does a lot of other good posts. Like, I like this stuff. He does Magic at the Movies and a bunch of other interesting uh, memes on the internet there. So I would I might have to get back to this, folk. Made a mistake. I'd like to own up to it. Took a piece of artwork that I love, is only able to in low resolution. I scaled it, cleaned it up, found out the artist was extremely insulted, and accused me of editing her work, which was never my intention. So, uh, you know, I tried to warn this fella. I really did. I tried to tell him, you probably shouldn't do that. But the backlash from it was real. You might not even find it on the internet because, you know, Poor Jeffrey got a tongue lashing over re-uploading and revisiting other Magic the Gathering artists. So I tried to warn the guy. I tried to save him. I tried to tell him, maybe don't do that. Didn't seem to get the point when I said it, but it's weird. Just like everything in the world, I'm telling you, uh, I'm trying to bring you folks some information, and that, I guess this goes to reason. Everything that I say on this morning show, take it with a grain of salt. Like, I tell people things all the time. I could be wrong too when it comes to a lot of the information that's out there. Like, some stuff could be just speculation, but like sometimes people just are hard-headed and don't listen. I know that because like I'm pretty stubborn myself. Okay. So the one thing I want to talk about here this morning, if you guys are just joining us, there's a bunch of folks in the chat here today. Let's take a look at this here today. You want to get free stuff? We're talking about airdrops. How many folks in the chat know what an airdrop is? Moxman's in the house. Boomstick. I got myself a boomstick. MTG Gaming Bob's here. Got folks in the chat. I hate the actual OG low resolution Star Wars and other movies. I love it when they make them higher fidelity. Actually, I like what he is attempting to do. Okay. Just interesting to get the opinion here. The Moxman in the house, Benson's in the house, Time Capsule in the house. Thanks for joining me. It's Friday. Anger Collections is here. Thanks for joining us here this morning. Good morning, Alan. Good to have you in the stream here. I got myself a Fridays suck more than Mondays in my experience. Oh no. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for leaving a shout out. Leave that stuff alone. All right. We got an interesting. I was doing computer stuff relating to airdrops. Okay, let's take a look here. I got a poll going up. Has anybody? Yes, I have. It's cool. Let's talk about it. No, I haven't heard about it. Or is there a plane overhead? Okay, so we're going to talk about airdrops. We're going to talk about free stuff. And if you're tuning in, Mr. MTG Moxman, Alan Cahoon, and everybody else in the world, the planet of Magic the Gathering, this is the first channel that ever brought you how to buy cards with crypto. I brought it to you folks on a live stream a couple of weeks ago. We talked about Web 3.0 and how to buy cards over at Purple Mana. So now we're going to talk about free stuff. We're only going to talk about it for just a minute. So we're going to head on over. Let's head on over to Mr. Geeko Friday. Let's take a look here. All right, minting. Alan Cahoon was doing some computer stuff related to airdrops. No, in no way is this an endorsement for this particular crypto. This is just one example, and there's many of them out there. But let's take a look at the chart on this stuff. Okay, Zen. Look at this, XEN, and there's plenty. This is a Jack Levin project. There's a bunch of projects out there. There's Richard Hart project, there's Bitcoin, there's Ethereum, there's all. So do your own research if you're going to get involved in any of this stuff. But if you want to just have a quick discussion about what this is free. Okay, so this, and I mean, you can't get it like instantly, but here's a price chart because we talk about charts. Look at this chart. This is a project that was launched by Jack Levin in October last year, and like the best things in life are free, and I'll give you an example. So this project was launched October last year. If you look at the chart, it just boom down, right? And then there's a little bit of a pickup here. Now, if you followed the live stream the last time we talked about Web 3.0, I would suggest just go back and watch that one when you get a spare minute. I've even got the timestamp in there to where the good stuff is. But this is an example. If you've set up a Web3 wallet, if you have set up a Web3 wallet, you can go to this Zen website and mint free coins. Okay, now what on earth does that mean? It means that you connect your wallet and you go there yourself and you can connect to it and you can interface with the project. Now let's just take a look at this because this could be an interesting one. Okay, look at the chart on this sucker. It's starting to, we talk about stock charts, we talk about the prices of magic cards, we look at enough charts, but look at this, is starting to move. Okay, so it's starting to move. Now if you haven't been there already, you can go to the Zen website. It's quite easy. You can get yourself some free stuff. So then the way this one works is you choose a period. You go, okay, I'm going to wait X amount of time until I get my stuff. You're going to be minting some coins over time. And like, look at the chart on this. Okay, look at the chart on this. Now look, this is the power of the decimal. All right, look at the power of the decimal. I want you guys to be aware of this. Okay, so this is when things get really interesting. Is like, you look at the decimal point. Okay, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 zeros 8. Okay, there's 5 zeros 8. So that, like, in the world of finance, you can only buy and sell, like penny rounding. Have you, like, you guys don't have the penny anymore. We don't have the penny anymore. So not having the penny creates an advantage for anybody who's, rounding up. There was an experiment that was done years ago, by pricing, and everybody was told that penny rounding was going to be a wash, and sometimes it'll work out in your favor, and sometimes it won't work out in your favor. But in this case, when you're dealing with some of these cryptocurrencies, we're talking about the power of the decimal, something that is divisible. Like, this is 0.000082 of a dollar. It's like less than a tenth of a hundredth of a thousand. It's like 100,000th of a cent. Okay, it's like worth nothing. It's worth, like, it's so bloomin' small. But the point is, if something like this moves, like if you move this decimal point, if this goes, let's say this decimal point moves over 2 places, which would happen in the finance world, like a stock goes from, let's look at Hasbro stock. Like Hasbro stock, we just had it up here. Where's Hasbro stock? So let's look at Hasbro stock, right? Like, it's only given to us in whole numbers. $51.29. So, like, you don't get the benefit. You do not get, and like you say, nothing is free, Benson, but like, where's the other numbers? Okay, like, this is the point I'm trying to make. There's power in the decimal point. Where are the other numbers here? It's $51.29. So that those numbers that come after this, those insignificant figures, that is where people make money. Okay, that is the arbitrage. That is, like, when you're, are you buying this for 50, is this 29.5 cents? Is this, like, that is where people end up making money. So when we're talking about the power of cryptocurrency, and we're talking about the power of the decimal, when you look at something like this is such an insignificant move when this goes, 825. But like, if the decimal moves over, that's a 10x gain, or that's a 100x gain. So like, this can be quite interesting, especially for something you got for free. Okay, so I mean, just want you folks to be aware there are free things over there. You can head on over to Zen Network here. You can go straight there. Um, Create yourself a new wallet right here, right? Create yourself a new wallet. You can create a wallet and a web extension. Generate your own private address and your own private keys that you don't share with anybody. Keep all this stuff private. This is for you. And then you can mint yourself some Zen crypto. And that's like one example of a project. Now, like, why do I bring in this project to you? It's up 19%. Look at this thing. It's been doing nothing until like just recently. Now, like, look at this thing. It's like bottom. It was like worthless, and now it's starting to move. Now, like, what are you going to do with it? You're like, Brody, you can't buy anything with it, right? Well, listen, you can. Okay, you could go like this. You could go over to Purple Mana. You could take something you got for free and buy magic cards with it. Like, you can buy all of these magic cards straight out of your web wallet with cryptocurrency. Now, they don't take Zen, but they take Ethereum, they take other different ones, right? So like, I just want you folks to be aware that if you're stuck in like fiat's not going away. The US greenback, that sucker's got to be strong, you know. But there's other people. The point is when you're talking about the world of currency and you're talking about finance and you're talking about world markets and you're talking about the yuan and the ruble and the euro and you're talking about all these different currencies, the Dutch guilder doesn't exist anymore. Did you know that the Dutch guilder was the world currency at one point in time? It doesn't exist anymore. Currencies ebb and flow, and there are new currencies out there that allow you to purchase magic cards, and this is a way to do it, and this is one of them. And if you're not aware of it and nobody's brought it up to your attention, I'm going to be the first one to do it here on the morning show, talking about morning magic stocks and magic talks, because this site, Purple Mana, is a place where you can buy cards with crypto. And in the case of Zen or something you might have got in an airdrop for free, maybe you got free hex. Maybe you got free coins from one of these projects. You started yourself up a wallet. Want to do some research. Protect yourself at all times. This is just like going into the cage in the UFC. Protect yourself at all times. Privacy is paramount, and don't share any of that information with anybody, including me. I don't want to know about it. All right. We got another article for you folks here today. It's an interesting one. I want to thank Harvey McGinnis. He's another fella who writes for a couple of different gigs there. He writes for the Stock Desk, and he also writes for Commander Herald. So if you want another source of good information, this is Harvey's brother, and this is his very first article. So I want to give a shout out to Harvey McGinnis. Let's do that here this morning. I gotta tweet Harvey here. Just say Stock Desk is up. Your bro's on deck. Let's do it. Let's read the article. Okay, so Harvey's a good cat. He's a good writer. I like Harvey's stuff. I want to give a shout out to Harvey, and I like reading the stuff that Harvey McGinnis puts to print. It's interesting reads. He does some very interesting articles. Gives us the over under and a few other things from the stock desk. Let's see how Harvey's brother Liam measures up with his writing skills, and let's talk about preaching piracy. Malcolm's partners in CEDH. So. The keen-eyed navigator is one of the fastest and most resilient partners in competitive EDH, and out of the plethora of options for the format, Malcolm's proven itself to be a staple partner and affords many advantages over the competition. An acceleration in the command zone at a very cheap cost, which is extremely useful feature in a format noted for its high-octane, no-holds-barred games. This efficiency is reflected in its most notable one-card combo win conditions, as well as alongside any red pairing. Malcolm's also has access to one-card win condition, Glinthorn Buccaneer. All right, so let's read the card here. Malcolm, competitive EDH. Anybody here play competitive EDH? Perhaps. I'm more of a casual, king of casual EDH. All right, let's see this legendary creature, Siren Pirate, mono blue, flying. When one or more pirates you control deals damage to your opponents, you create a treasure token for each opponent dealt damage. Partner. So who do we say we're partnering this with? The Glinthorn Buccaneer, CEDH. Haste. Minotaur Pirate, 2 red and 2 4. Whenever you discard a card, Glinthorn Buccaneer deals the damage to each opponent. Discard a card, draw a card, activate this ability only if Glinthorn is hacking. All right. So we got some Demir pairs, Tevisjat, Doom of Fools. You can pair this sucker up with. Oh my god. I think both cards, both planeswalkers have to have partners. Oh, Robert O'Brien says crypto is a scam. Lay it on me, brother. It's totally fine. I want to hear about it. Chat. Let's check the chat. Yo, yo. Hey, I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just saying that it exists, okay? And if you haven't heard of it, I would definitely Robert says, nothing is free. Crypto is a scam. What is X equal to? Depends if you're making a function on a graph. Where is the Robert, where is the magic cards? All right. It's high risk, right? So the point is, like, if you're looking to downsize risk from crypto, magic cards is not a bad place to be. Okay. Is it pairs? Man, this is a big article. I don't think we're going to be able to get to this entire article here today. We're going to have to switch gears. But let's get to the good stuff here. If you want to read an interesting article, if you're into CEDH, I would check this out. Okay, I'm not a competitive Commander player, but I want to bring this to your folks' attention. There's some good articles over the Commander Herald. Malcolm's a high-power acceleration engine in CEDH for one of the strongest partners in the format. I highlight some of the lists today. Believe they're especially powerful and poised for success in the format. Did I miss a variant? Are there any spicy Malcolm inclusions that you think are underexplored? Reach out and let us know. So, if Malcolm is one of the most popular, I did not know that. Malcolm, one of the most popular commanders. Vile Smasher Fierce. This guy, Bruce Tall. What else we got? Timna the Weaver, Tricolor Pairs, and Kedis the Emberclaw Familiar. All right, Robert O'Brien, how you doing? We're gonna do some movers and the shakers here. We're switching it up here this morning. I wanted to make a little bit of a switch up because I know this is part of Brody coin. That's right. Next week between two boosters, sell all your magic cards and buy Brody coin. All right, let's check it out. MTG is a better investment. It has actual physical thing that can be tracked. I'm not saying it's not. Let's check this out. All right, these are your movers and your shakers for this week. We're going to go with the all list here this week. It's Friday. We're going to do a recap. Let's check it out. I know Robert O'Brien's, I spoke to Robert O'Brien a little bit yesterday about serialized cards and sports cards. It's a pretty interesting discussion. I'd like to continue that. Unfortunately, right after the stream, I got to head to work. So we're going to have to maybe chat over the weekend because I want to hear a little bit more about serialized sports cards. MTG is a better investment. It's a physical thing that can be tracked. Yes, I agree. I like to know where my cards are. With crypto, there's a lot of people that say like it's fairy dust, it's a fugazi, but like there wouldn't be a site like Purple Mana if people weren't buying and selling magic cards. Some call me Tim. You've heard of it. You've heard of Procoin, right? All right, let's check out your movers and the shakers. Top winners. Do it. What do we got here? Control Magic from Alpha, up 37%. These are Alpha cards, right? All right, Island. I'll tell you what. I will keep you guys all posted and let you know how it works out, okay? So I'm telling you, just like the Twitter post that I made with Jeffrey Palmer about the debatability of being able to improve on a Magic the Gathering artist's artwork. I think it's debatable. I will keep all you folks posted and let you know how it works out. Of course, I have never actually bought any Magic cards with cryptocurrency. Never happened. But I'm following it like a hawk. I'm hot on the trail. Okay, so if anything works out for me, good or bad, I will let you folks know. I'll let you know if I lose it all, or if I do buy something that way, I will let you folks know. Okay, so I'm on the trail. I mean, if you don't like tracking the prices of Magic cards, if you don't want to get involved in something like that, let me do it for you. I'm doing it each and every day. I'm willing to take risks and take chances because I know for a fact that if you don't risk anything, there is no reward. And like your level of risk is going to depend on what you folks do, right? Like we talked about, like what generation are you from? Like the younger generation is more risk averse because they have more time to make mistakes, figure it out, get back up on their feet and do it again. So like some folks are like way risk averse. They're like, no way, I worked my whole life, I'm not putting my money into that. So like there's no way you're going to catch me investing or putting any time or effort into something like that because it's just it's too late in life to make a recovery, right? So I totally get it, right? I'm saying you don't want to put anything in that you don't want to lose, but without any risk or without any adventure, there is no reward. So let's talk about let's get into our movers and the shakers here this morning. So we got what? Let's see. We're gonna go do the all list. It's Friday, so we want to take a look here. Okay, so Control Magic is up. These alpha cards. I'm telling you, if you like, even if you head over to Purple Mana, they've got all kinds of alpha cards. They've got all kinds of first edition stuff in here. Like, I mean, it would be neat just to buy one card. Okay, myself personally, as an experiment, as a social experiment with you folks, I would go so far as to buy a card from them just to go through the process, figure out how it all works, and then like report back to you folks so that you can see how it works, right? Like you got to know about this stuff. If like knowledge is like power, you want to know how stuff works. I wouldn't want to like miss out on something, right? Well, let's take a look here. Alpha cards. We got to go to the all list. Movers and the shakers here this morning. This week, this is like the weekly recap. This one here, weekly change. All right, here we go. This is the top weekly winners. All right, alpha cards like smoke. Oh my God, this thing's up 66%. $99,976. When I see this, I'm just like, you know what? This has got to be a mistake. Okay. But like, I'm telling you, yesterday I did a recap on the world's most expensive Magic the Gathering cards, and they were all alpha cards. Okay. If you can believe it. Ones that sold at auction for anywhere from 100, 30,000, 40,000, 50,000, 500,000, and like 10, I think 10 9 or 10 out of the 12 most expensive cards ever sold at auction were alpha. So as a long-term investment, if you're rather put your money somewhere that you know where it is, maybe some alpha cards are a place to do it, but like be wary, okay? Like you want to talk about scams, you want to talk about look at this chart here. Like look at this chart. This looks funny. Like you got a huge leg up in price. This card was only worth $560 a year and a half ago. So now it's showing the algorithm here is showing spikes up to what are we $100,000. This has got to be a pricing mistake when you can buy it over from the vendors for 500, 600, or 800. If you're going to get alpha cards, try to get the near mint one. Okay. Near mint stuff is where you want to be. Try even if it's commons or uncommons. I would almost suggest if you're looking to buy alpha cards, get yourself some better graded copies. If you're going to spend some money on it, even get a mint condition uncommon over a heavy played rare. You can always trade up later. I gotta read some comments here. Crypto isn't a scam, but Hex is. Well, that's another interesting. Like that's the thing. I've met some hexicans, or some call me Tim. I've met some hexicans. I've met folks that have got that have done all right on that. You know, I personally I've met some of them, and they seem all right. They explain it to me. I mean, they seem like just fine people. You know, uh, Pogs, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. You could talk. Can't help but think Tandy owns a lot of Jason's prodigy and is trying to make money here. Just buy out Sarah Aviary with me. Sarah Aviary? That's a great card. Homeland's reserve list. Yeah, it's like an anthem for flying creatures. Let's send it. People are running out of ideas on what to spend money on. All I'm saying is there's free stuff. Like I'm looking at Zen and it's free. You don't have to do anything to get it. You just mint it. Like Alec would say, mint it. Like I don't know if you guys realize what I'm doing here, but like go back to the early Alec videos when we're talking about NFTs and minting magic cards into NFTs. Like I've been following this stuff for quite a long time. You can't just like put it all out there, right? All right, let's look at this. It's got to be a mistake. It's got to be a mistake. Where is it? Right here, Cardmart Express. Here's the culprit right here. Cardmart Express is listing one for $99,976.76, which is pushing the market price up. So this is a false indication. Like, you ever heard what a false indication is? This is a false indication, right? So you get up in the morning, you look at the movers and the shakers, you see smoke is up to 99,000, it's up 66%. This is a false indication. Good morning, Ed, the dual brain. We're looking at the weekly winners. And somehow smoke has made it on the very top of the winners because this card mart, uh, like this isn't like this is like I it just it just kind of bugs me. Like I don't myself. What is that on TCG Player? Yeah, TCG Player. So like this is one of the beefs, and I'm not saying anything against like I know some of you folks are selling on TCG Player, but this is the problem that I have. This is the beef that I got with TCG Player is like every time I go on here and I see a pricing mistake, it's always somebody on TCG Player messing up the market and messing up the algorithm. Like, do you notice this? Like, this is a trend. This is not the first time I've seen this. Pricing mistakes over at TCG Player by Cardmart Express, pricing this card for $99,000. And all it's doing is messing up the movers and the shakers list in the algorithm for folks that want to look and get an honest feel for the market. Right. So you got to be able to like wade your way through the BS. Like there's a lot of BS out there. It completely skews everything, right? It's super manipulatable. What else we got? Mox Ruby from Beta Ruby, I could see this. Like, depending on what deck is popular in Vintage and in Legacy, but more Vintage and old school, like the Ruby and the Jet, and like they will battle for being the most expensive. Like if you're going to look at the Mox Ruby, you got to look at the metagame. Blue Tinker's running it, sure, but then right now the Mox Jet is probably going to be worth a little bit more, and it should be because Blue Tinker and there's a few different like how much is Jet? Or let's go with the beta version. Beta Jet. Where's the Beta Jet? 9,000. Yeah, like I don't understand why the it's totally manipulated. 25,000 for beta. You can get one from Card Kingdom for 6,500. Who's selling one? Mythic's rare cards, near mint. So you got the right seat, TCG Player. And if anybody asks why I don't like TCG Player, I don't buy from them. I'm not saying that like there's just bad actors. Like there's a lot of good people over there. I know Anger sells over there, like he's like a reputable guy trying to like, do the best that he can to bring us like a decent market, and I know he's selling over at TCG Player, but it makes it really hard So take TCG Player seriously when you see stuff like this. You're like, why is this guy got a like Mythic's rare card? It's just like there's no control over this. This is like totally unregulated. There's no control. It's like if I want to put any Magic card up for sale on there, like Brody could just put any card up there for some ridiculous price and then just move all the prices on his card sorting. So we got Mox Ruby, Undergrounds. It's two examples of like price manipulation here this morning. So watch out. Underground C. Let's take a look. These are your weekly winners this week. So we got Underground C, 16 grand for the alpha. This seems proper. This seems all right. Let's pull back the chart. Let's have a look. Underground C. Now this we did a review of the most expensive Magic cards ever sold at auction yesterday. There's one of these for near mint for 25,000. Holy smokes. Vicarious Games has two for 16,000 on TCG Player. So there's a proper pricing. There's some proper pricing, but like maybe I need to be a little more open-minded with regards to TCG Player. Like maybe I should give it a chance because I could be just treating it like crypto and being missing out on deals, right? Because I just hate it because it just makes me upset every time I see these pricing mistakes. Underground Sea, Time Twister, Unlimited Time Twister. There's a card like, I mean, you want to talk Power 9? Out of any of the Power 9 cards, like this is a card that I would say is worth saving up for. Like if you want to talk about long term, um, I would say it completely skews it, right? Good morning, Brain. Good morning. I would say out of any of the Power 9 cards, this is the one that is worth saving up for or picking up a copy at some point if you can. Like it's just so out of reach right now. Got Rudy's buying up the reserve list and just locking them away in basements, never to be seen again. So it's really kind of sad that this card is so expensive right now because it is a good card and it's the only one that's available to be played in Commander. It's the only Power 9 that's playable in Commander. So even if you can get yourself a beat up copy, you're looking at $4,000 to $5,000 US. If you want to know a card that was on the list just the other day, this card here, Diminishing Returns. Here's a time twister effect. And it's been spiking. This card's up to $10 now. Yeah, and there was copies available just the other day for $1, and I hope somebody bought them because they got them right now. You can go to TCG Player, see Games and Stuff has it for $1. If you want to make some money, go and buy this one here. Diminishing Returns is $1. This is a card that's been spiking, and people haven't actually corrected their prices since we saw it earlier this week on the movers and the shakers. So this is like an example of a card that's quite possibly going to be a wheel effect in near mint. Also like the video so we can get more people here. Yeah, let's get some more folks in here. I'm switching it up here today because I know Robert O'Brien's got to head out, and some people like to see the movers and the shakers early. Question for you. Let me ask a question because we're like, this is your show, okay? So like, I bring you folks topics that I think you guys like to hear. Do you like to see the movers and the shakers at the beginning, the middle, or the end of the show? Let me ask you folks. Do we Let me ask you folks here let me start a poll here. I'd kind of like to get to know what you guys think. I usually end up wrapping up because there's more folks here, and that's kind of like one of my that's kind of like one of the the fun parts that I like. I like checking the movers and the shakers, but depending on like what you folks like to do. I was talking to Robert O'Brien yesterday a little bit. Diminishing returns has high returns, right? Decent card. Do you like them? Do you like? Do we like starting with the movers and the shakers? Do you guys like it in the middle, or you want me to leave it to the end? Because I know some people don't make it to the end; they got to go. And like some people want it right at the beginning. They want to tune in. It's like, hey, good morning, folks. Let's do the movers and the shakers. I like to warm up with some articles. But like, what do you guys like? What's got you? What do you guys tune in for? I try and grab something for each and every one of you, but it's like I got to get to know the audience. So this week has been a really good week back to get to know you guys because I get to figure out like what age group you guys are in, whether you're in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, and your 50s. We talked about what your financial goals are, like how much risk you're willing to take if you're going to be a flipper, if you're going to be selling your collection. In 5 years, you turn over a half of your collection. Like some people do that every 5 years, boom, half the collection's got to go. We turn it over and we roll it into like the bottom half of the collection. Just turn it over every 5 years into like expensive stuff. And then some people are like, I just sit on my stuff. I'm never going to get rid of it. I'm going to pass it on. Somebody asked me in the comments if I'm going to burn all my cards before I die. And I'm like, probably not, but like it's a good question. Or are you just in this to have fun and you don't even care what the prices do? You're like, I don't care. I mean, I'm not really concerned about the value of my cards just because I'm not ever selling them. So like I say, this is the show that I like to get to know you folks. I want to get to know the audience and see what you guys like. Most people are liking it in the middle of the show. So I mean, maybe we'll continue on with that. Mahamoti Djinn. Here's a good card. I used to call this Mohammedi Djinn until like the internet became a thing and other people started pronouncing it properly, I guess. This is a 5/6. This card is good in old school. It was the biggest flyer available. This thing would beat up Shivan Dragon. It would also beat up Sarah Angel. And when it comes to old school, there's nothing bigger than a Mohammedi Djinn or Mahamoti. So this is a good card. It's played in blue-white control and old school. Let's see some decks using it. Commander. Polo Guide to Monsters. The only one bigger than this, I guess, is the Lord of the Pit, 7/7. Pretty big card. But the reason this card is so expensive is because you can play it in old school and it's actually pretty good. $5,000 on TCG Player. I just think TCG Player is like there's some pricing on there that just is completely out of lunch. All right, Mahamoti Djinn, seeing some price action here on your movers and the shakers this week. A card that's up a bunch. If and this is the thing. I'm gonna say once like these old school cards, like people getting out of Magic the Gathering and like getting into like there's been a lot of like I don't think people realize how many people got spooked when the 30th anniversary edition got printed. And cards like this were in that beta set. There was a lot of people that just dropped. They were like, I'm out of here. I'm like going to try and get what I can for my Magic cards because the writing is on the wall. And this is going to be like, this is like this is the canary in the coal mine. If they've done it once, they're going to do it again with Legends. And they're going to do it again with Arabian Nights. And they're going to do it again with subsequent sets. So there's people that just mic dropped and were like, I'm going to sell my high end stuff while I still can. And there's some investors and some hoarders and some folks that and good for them that are like, I'll take them. This is a card that's always going to have collectability because it's a playable card, it's a rare, and it's from the original ABU set. So come the end of this year, I'm gonna say like if you had to pick, like if you ever see one of these on sale, like even getting yourself an unlimited version, let's see what an unlimited version of Mahamoti is worth. Because like that's the one that I could probably get. Where's the unlimited one? Like it doesn't have to be the alpha beta, but if you're gonna buy alpha betas and you ever see like a deal on one of these guys, like it's a good card to pick up because people are always gonna want to play it, even if it's beta. Yeah, the unlimited version, $75. Like it's a good card. It's down right now. The unlimited version was up to 300 or 400 just a while ago. Sold out on Card Kingdom. You can get it for $100, $50 in light played, 200. It's like the medium on TCG Player is 200 to 300. I don't get it. It's still these prices are softening. Like it's getting flaccid. Prices are getting flaccid. They're starting to soften. What else have we got here? Mahamodi. There's the Mox Jet. All right, so the Mox Jet, my opinion, nerd and proud of it. Unlimited is about $80. Goedemorgen, Jurgen. Vanuit the Netherlands. Goedemiddag. Alsjeblieft. Thanks for joining us here this morning. Mox Jet, this is good. This is good in vintage. It's played in Blue Tinker. Like if there's ever a red deck that is, this is why I don't kind of agree with the Mox Ruby being more expensive, because if like look at all these decks. Here, you got to look at the metagame. Like the metagame's got Blue Tinker, Paradoxical Outcome, Doomsday, Mono White Initiative. All these decks are playing black. So like the Sapphire and the Jet are going to be expensive. And then you got a couple of decks like 4-color mid-range and Hogak deck running red. So like the Ruby and the Jet tend to run hand in hand and sort of always vie for compete to see who's going to be the more expensive one. Earthquake. This is a good card. Earthquake. 10 grand for alpha. Lots of alpha and betas here. Like, are these alpha and beta cards actually moving? Hard to say, but a card with pro red is definitely going to do well with this card. And it's not just decks that are pro red, it's flyers and dragons. So if you're playing dragons, the Earthquake's a card that's definitely gonna see some play. Where are we here? Yeah, Cyrix, the Carrier of Flame. Here's Commander, Soulfin, Mayhem Dominus, the Dragon. These are your decks using it. Rakdos, Lord of Riots, Rakdos Midrange, Gisela the Golden Knight. These are all decks using it that mostly, I would say, are flying decks. Let's take a look at Cyrix. I think that's a dragon deck. Gotta be dragons. The new Sarkhan. I would say Earthquake, like the beta edition Earthquake is probably a good pickup. Never a bad idea. Cyrix. Phoenix. All right, at the beginning of each end step, if a creature left your graveyard, return a target Phoenix you control deals damage equal to its power to any target. Whenever another Phoenix you control dies, you may cast Cyrix, the Carry of Flame, from your graveyard. Streets of New Capenna Commander. So this is a Phoenix deck? Chickens. Phoenix Blitz deck. That's actually pretty cool. And they got the Zelaport Cutthroat, the Mayhem Devil, the Sackville. Okay, so this is like another card, like Mayhem Devil, a card. This is $18 in a common. We're talking about serialized cards there the other day with Robert O'Brien, and it was nice. I gotta catch up with Robert this weekend, maybe talk a little bit more about it. But the differences between serialized cards in sports versus serialized cards in Magic cards. Had some interesting conversation. I'd like to do another video on that, maybe talk about it. But the gist of it that I got from Robert was some good information. As a guy who collects sports cards, is like they do different color treatments, sort of like what they did in Kamigawa with the neon ink. And then, Alpha Birds of Paradise and Island. Was this the Guru Land? Yeah, these are the Guru Lands. Keep your eye out for these Guru Lands. I don't have any of them, but I'm just always surprised how expensive they are. Like if you ever see one of these in a land box, look at the art on this. It's got like a moon on the top of it, and it's like got an arc going over the top of it with its sun and moon. So these Guru Lands are really expensive. But with the serialized sports cards, Robert was telling me that depending on location, like where the team is from, like a town like Phoenix, it doesn't have a lot of support for hockey, so like hockey cards don't sell very good. So the players that play for Phoenix and the serialized cards for Phoenix, where you can't even give tickets away. It's like cryptocurrency on this channel. You can't even give it away. People don't want it. You can't even give away tickets to a hockey game in Phoenix because nobody wants to go and sit in an arena and freeze. They want to be outside where it's warm. So like the serialized players from Phoenix, they like the cards aren't worth very much because the people in Phoenix just don't go to the games, nor are they going to buy the cards. But if you're in like a town like Montreal, if the location is everything according to serialized sports cards. So the if you're in a if you're you got serialized cards for a home team that has popular hockey fan base, then those tend to do well. They also color match them, and then of course the player, right? You have a celestial clock look, very cool. I have a near mint force field. Cosmic Seeds, unlimited is $80. These are Guru lands. Let's see. These are yeah, these Guru lands. What set? Yeah, Guru lands. These are expensive. Like keep your eye out for this art, okay? I put it up on the screen so you folks like if you ever see like if you ever see the mountain in Arabian Nights or these Guru lands with this art, Guru lands. Guru. I am Guru. Guru. If you ever see these guru lands or guru lands, however you potato and potato their Liberty, if you ever see them in a land, what the point is, if you ever see these in a land box somewhere, like pick them up. If you ever see the Arabian Nights Mountain, and I like if you don't know about it, you won't see it. Like it's like anything that's free. Like I'm telling you. Like you go to a garage sale and you see a box of magic cards and it's like, ah, it's just basic lands. Look in there. Like you never know. There could be something like this. Or like say there's like a box of cards in a swap meet and you're like, you can get it for a song, and Brody don't sing very well, but if I can pick up like a long box at a swap meet, Jewel Brain's going to be probably doing some more swap meet videos here soon because the weather's starting to get better and I'm really excited because I love those swap meet videos because like you can guys like Matt Caster Mage who go looking for deals at dollar stores or going to swap meets. This is the kind of item that might just end up in a land box somewhere. This is a Therese Nielsen art. Like you never know where you might find this thing and pick it up for nothing. And I love hearing stories about people like finding magic cards in bulk bins that are worth money. But unless you know what you're looking for, you're never gonna see that opportunity. I said Montreal. Nick Suzuki serial cards are good money because he started on the Golden Knights. So let's see. Who else is anybody selling these? Yeah, like TCG Player, you got them for sale. These Guru lands for like $1,000, $1,200, $975. It's like it's no different than any other land, but it's just like recognize it. So anybody like if you've never heard of Guru lands or you should pay attention and recognize this because even myself, I'm looking out for these. If I see a land box that's got Guru lands and somebody's selling it, it's like 10 cents a mana, I'm gonna pick it up. Garage sale, land box, couple of Guru lands. Check this out, Birds of Paradise. This is like the other day. I had somebody asking, they're like, "How do you tell the difference between unlimited and revised?" And it's really hard to tell. I'll give you an example. Savannah Lion. Okay, so you got Savannah Lions. This is a card that's really hard for me to tell the difference between unlimited and revised. And like there's a couple of ways to do it. So look at this art here, and I've got one of each, and I was really having a tough time identifying them. So like this one here, you got the unlimited. I don't know why this one is so hard for me to identify, and the revised. Like they look so similar, right? Like this is a tough card there. Like you can barely tell the difference. I'm gonna switch back and forth. There's the unlimited, there's the revised. There's the unlimited, there's the revised. Now the color saturation is one thing, right? It's like got a little bit of color saturation difference. The line is like a little bit more yellow in this version. Okay. So like being able to identify cards, that becomes really important, like especially when you're dealing with a card that's a difference of $4 versus $240. Very hard to tell. So this one here, this is if you're getting into anything with a tap symbol on it, see this is Difference is like Revise was the invention of the tap symbol. So we got the tap symbol in Revise because before that we had this, like what it says on this Birds of Paradise. It just says hashtag tap. It says tap right on it. And if you look at basic lands, they used to just say tap right on them. So easy way to tell artifacts or anything that has a tapping ability in Revise will have the tap symbol. Other than that, it'll be a mono artifact and it won't say you gotta tap it. It'll just have the double colon. But this is why this card is so interesting, because it's got like the double hashtag on it from alpha. And I wonder if the beta has it. That's how you can tell that it's an early one. So like you see the beta version doesn't have those two little hashtags, those two little /, right? This one just says tap, and then like the alpha version, that's got like the two little / on it, right? So an interesting way, little details. The details are in there. I had somebody look at an alpha card that I had and try and tell me it was a beta, and I'm like, you got to look at the corners at that point. So this card expensive, $5,000. I gotta say, like, that's actually a good deal for this card. For the alpha Birds of Paradise, depending on what version it is. Let's see. Yeah, so like the market media, 4,500. That's actually a pretty good price for an alpha Birds. What do we got here on TCG Player? $4,500 Vicarious Games. 7,500 for a graded copy, $8,000. Pretty expensive. Collectible card, iconic card. There's a little bit of a story with the art here. Some people say that might have been the art for Volcanic Island, but it never ended up on that card. It ended up on that something else. Control Magic. This is a card here this morning that was on the Movers and the Shakers here today. This is the original Control Magic spell. Like, look at this. Look at this card. It's really cool. Okay, for 4 mana, you control target creature until enchantment is discarded or game ends. You can tap target creature this turn, but if it was already tapped, it stays tapped until you can untap it. If it was destroyed, put target creature into its owner's graveyard. So, like, let's look at any of the red cards that take control of target creature and give it haste. Okay, so this is another good, very good rules question, right? So like a lot of the red cards that gain control of target creature until end of turn. Let's take a look here. MTG gain control of target creature until end of turn. There's a lot of them. Somebody give me an example. Like there's a million of them. Somebody give me an example. Can't think of the name because I gotta look it up. Hatcher's here. Good morning, Mike. Thanks for joining us. Getting to know the folks here. This Mike Hatcher. Love this guy. I just use a jingle. I used Jungle Lion in my cube like 15 years ago. Times have changed, right? Totally. The Jungle Lion, right? He says, once the gold standard of what you got for 1 mana and a rare. Now Savannah Lions is a vanilla common. Yeah, and like I see a lot of memes out there. Like there's a lot of memes going around. It's like what you get for 1 mana. Like even Elvish Archers, it was like a 2/1. I think it was supposed with first strike, I think it was supposed to cost a little bit more. Like I think it was supposed to be like 3 mana or something like that. But we got the entire Canadian team here, right? We totally got the entire Canadian team here. I love the Canadian content creators. I love tuning into the Historian channel. If I want to get some lore, like if you want to, like I'm not so much of a lore guy, and that's why I like that channel, because the guy like reads the storylines and he like spends a lot of time, comparing the story to what's happening in the cards, right? Like that's a whole nother element of research like that I am not prepared to do. I would rather just tune in to his channel and get it like, get the authentic comparability from a channel like that. I really do. I mean, I find I've only have so much time. Sometimes I like to read like the stories that come out. I'm starting to like the movie trailers for Magic a little less and less, but because they're so computer enhanced, and I don't know why we don't have like actors playing the roles in like some of the shorts and some of the trailers that they have. It's all AI, and I know they do it with costumes and they use like computers and they do points and they green screen it all, but like I just think it's like it could be a lot better and more smoothly done if there were actors in like good costume. But I do appreciate the lore videos, and I appreciate the heart to heart that you put into helping other YouTubers get going. So, if there's one thing that doing the show uh, has done for me that is really helpful is getting like the feedback from other folks, because like if the viewers especially, like people tune in and join in and say, I like this, I like what you're doing with that, I don't like this. So I like to put something in there for everybody, but like having somebody come actually be like, hey, that's an actual content creator. It's not, that means a lot when people say that. So like Ed the dual brain, he's the guy that's had my back since day one. So like people that tune in and they're like, "Hey, I like your show." The reason I do the show is like it's like the stuff that I wish somebody would make. Like I get up every morning and first strike hose ball, ball lightning, so good. Yeah, so like I make this show because like every morning I get up and I'm like looking at the prices of these magic cards, and I'm like, man, I wish there was a show where somebody like looked at the bloody prices of magic cards and like told me whether I was getting hosed or not, because I don't really know if this is a good deal, right? So like what's a card that has Whirling Dervish? Now there's a good card. I love that card. So what's a card that used to like a red card in like Zealous Conscripts, or what's another card that in red that gains control of target creature? That creature gains haste until end of turn, and then you like return it to your opponent. Like I know I have one here. I just can't think of there's like so many of them. But like if you look at a card like Control Magic, so this is an example, like because I was playing pre-release just a weekend ago, and this was a conversation that came up. People were like, because I took control of one of my opponent's creatures, and then the whole conversation came up about, well, does it have summoning sickness? And like when one of the battles flips, like this is another thing, like when one of those battles flips, when you flip a battle, and some of them enter the battlefield as a creature, and then like the question is, if I take that creature from my opponent, like can I attack with it, right? And that's why a lot of the red cards, like if you're playing red, it's generally not a problem, because all the red control magic spells usually say target gain control of target creature until end of turn, it gains haste, and then return it to the opponent on their end of their end step. And then like, so it's unquestionable. But the card like in blue control magic, it doesn't say it gains haste, except for this one. I have all the books, but not all the comics. Cool. I had a friend of mine who had I had a friend of mine who was really big into reading the books, and like I had to always like I can't, I have a really tough time reading, like if like I really struggle with literacy. Okay, it's a fact. Like if it's a manual, or if it's like an instruction manual, or if it's like a manual, like a book, like a prescriptive, like how to do something, or if it's like rules, like this happens, like a book full of rules, or like a procedure that tells you how to do something, first you do this, then that, like something that's very prescriptive, like a how to type of thing, like an instruction manual, or like how to put something together. No problem. I love that. I actually really enjoy reading that. If you're looking at like code books, or like say, and this sounds really dry, but if you like look at like a Strata Council Act or one of these like regulations, I love reading that stuff. I love reading rules and regulations, and I love reading like law, like um, bills and stuff like that. But like actually sitting and being able to like concentrate on a story and read it word for word in a book is really hard for me because I find like I'm reading the words over and over again, and like it just doesn't stick. I've always struggled with that. I'm getting better at it. I mean, it's not impossible. It's just difficult for me, and especially when I was a kid, like reading the lore books was like impossible. Somebody give me like give me one of these magic books, like this one here, like here, read this. Read this pocket, like the Pocket Player's Guide. I could do that, but like a story, like from start to finish, I really, really have trouble visualizing it. I'll read the words over. But what I was saying on Control Magic, like the blue Control Magic never says gets haste. But this one says you control target creature until enchantment is discarded or the game ends. And it had to say that because people were like, there was anti back in the day, right? So like people would keep magic cards. If it said you gain control of something, you kept it. So they were really it was really important to putting that on the card, right? It says you can tap target creature this turn if it wasn't already tapped. So that's pretty prescriptive. If it has like a Royal Assassin, like this would be a good target for this card. A Royal Assassin, like you tap it to destroy a target tapped creature. But it doesn't say it has haste. So can you attack with it? It has to begin a turn on your side. So the red control magic became really interesting because it always says, they usually say, it gains haste until end. Canadian syrup is way better. Superbacker says, has anybody had maple water? It's a new product. I've seen it in stores in the last 2 years and it's pretty good. Huh. You crazy. Vermont maple syrup is garbage, eh? The comics are a little bit different. Astrid Media is back. What was the airdrop? I missed everything. I'll rewatch later. We were just talking about buying cards with cryptocurrency. Like, there's a site out there called Purple Mana where you can buy cryptocurrency. And some of the cryptocurrencies, if you have a wallet set up and you're using Web 3.0, and I know this is the crazy thing. So you get into cardboard, buying stuff in packs, and go into the store with paper money. And then we had debit cards, and then we had like tap, and then we had the chip. And like now there's web wallets on your browser where you can like start a wallet right on your web browser. And then you can go to sites like Purple Mana, like this site here, and buy magic cards with cryptocurrency. And I'm like the first person out there that's talking about it. Like nobody's talking about buying cards with crypto. And there's like a site to do it. It's this Purple Mana. So like, how do you get the crypto? Well, airdrop. Some people just give you they drop free crypto. You gotta kind of figure that out for yourself and which ones it's risky, but it's like any other thing. Like I don't think it's gonna go away. You know all about Web 3.0. I was on the team that launched an NFT project. Awesome. That's cool. We need to talk. I'm interested because I made a video with Alec about minting magic cards into NFTs. And that's awesome that you know about Web 3.0. I think it's cool. I think more people should know about it. I thought you were airdropping. Well, here's what I'm going to talk about. Astrid Media. Like there's going to come a time like I could literally, there's an app on your phone where you can mint any NFT. I think it's called Nifty, right? So like Brody's gonna have a bro NFT. They're gonna make a Brody NFT. Okay, I'm gonna make one. There's gonna be a Brody NFT, and just it's gonna take a little while to get there. But the point is I thought you're airdropping, so eventually gonna be airdropping some stuff. But like I have to start the conversation with people because a lot of folks in the conversation and in the chat this morning, like if you read through the comments, some people are just like if there's different risk classes. Like some people are willing to risk it all for the biscuit. They're like, I don't care. I'll get involved in anything new. I'll chase the hotness. I'll chase the hype. whatever is new. Young people have more time to experiment with risky investments. People who are like older and getting on in life, and maybe have been in Magic cards since the beginning, or maybe you're in your 50s or 60s. You can't afford to take the risk, because like rebuilding and starting from scratch is like not a good idea. So because like at that point you're out of time. So you got to get to kind of know people, and if some people want to get involved, at some point I'm gonna be doing like I'll be doing like an NF, like I could even set it up like on a stream where you scan the thing, and then like I'll just send you an NFT. It's pretty easy to do. But mint it, right? That's like if you want to just like you want to reprint the reserve list, just mint it as an NFT, right? And then you want to double the population, just fork it. Dragony Whelp. Animate Dead. This is a good card here. Check this card out. Animate Dead, Enchantment Aura. Enchanted creature in a graveyard. When enchanted creature enters the battlefield, if it's on the battlefield, it loses enchant creature card in the graveyard, and it gains enchant creature, put it on the battlefield, animate dead. Enchanted creature gets 1/0. So this is like the original Reanimator card. It's decent. If I don't have any crypto, maybe I can call them I'm a nice guy. My nice guy status is worth at least 10,000. If I don't have any crypto, maybe I can tell them I'm a nice guy. I thought you were airdropping. Careful with minting. It's about the contracts on the third parties make it easy for a fee. Yeah, it's there's an app, there's a few apps out there. It's literally just a photo. You take it's so ridiculously simple and kind of dumb. It's so simple. You just literally take a photo, and then it'll digitize it. It will give it a web address, and like it's pretty funny that stuff is coming up so quickly. I would say don't ever buy an NFT. Don't pay money for it. Myself, it's NFTs are good to sell, but I wouldn't buy one. It's kind of funny, but you see, I'll buy it. All right, see, be careful out there. It's you want to preserve the fun in your Magic collection. I'd like you folks to be able to get some of these Magic cards. I'm big on these are all expensive cards, right? Lord of the Pit. Look at this card here. This was like the biggest, baddest creature in the world of Magic. And 7/7, Mark Teton. Flying Trample. The beginning of upkeep, sack a creature other than Lord of Pit. You can't sacrifice it to itself. If not, deal 7 damage to you. It's a darn good card, I'll tell you. What's the original one worth? This is expensive. A beta alpha. Can we get a price on the alpha? Lord of the Pit. This one was on the list the other day. This was definitely on the list of yesterday's top 100 and the top most expensive Magic cards ever sold at auction. This one was sold for $105,000, I think. I wanted to maybe ask Hatcher if he heard of that dragon, the Shivuvabukan dragon, the one that was the Japanese one. Don't fully understand it. I vaguely understand it. Some people use computers to make or farm it for free. Yes, that is what folks can do. Check out that link. Bill Mayer calls out crypto for the scam it is. Bill Mayer. Oh, Bill Mayer. Interesting. All right. Well, for each, I'll keep you posted, Benson, because it is right. I'll keep you posted. I'll let you know how it goes. Currently, I'm minting some. I'm waiting. I got 200 days to wait. I'm minting some free Zen. Okay, and here's what I'm gonna do. Here's the play. Brody's play of the day, and I'm gonna tell you. I'll keep you guys updated on this. All right. So I'm gonna be minting some free Zen over at the Zen website, and I'm watching that sucker. It's free right now, so I'm minting some free Zen. And if it goes up, I'm gonna buy something from Purple Mana and put it into the collection. This is my experiment. Okay, You don't need to, because I'm going to do it for you. I'm going to tell you all about it and how it works out for me. Of course, if it doesn't work out, I'll let you know. But right now, I'm minting some free Zen. And I'm going to see if I can turn that into a magic card of something over at the Purple Mana site. So maybe I can get anything, something. Maybe I can buy a playset of Kukas off of Purple Mana. I'll see if they got it. I want to thank all you folks for joining here this morning. It's Friday, right? A little bit casual this morning. I like it. Just a little free form stream. Like we kind of went off on our original format. It was good to switch it up this morning. It feels nice to have some folks to chat with here this morning. Do you like tracking the prices of Magic cards? Do you like reading the articles? Do you like finding all the information out there for yourself? Let me do it for you. I do it each and every morning, Monday through Friday, here on the Bro Show, the morning show. Brody Alfonso, this is Morning Magic Stocks and Magic Talks. Thanks for joining me here. It's Friday, wherever you folks are. Hope you have a good one. If you're heading to F&M Friday Night Magic, wish you luck. I hope you sleeve your deck up and you have some fun out there. May all the dice rolls be in your favor. May you get to go first in all your games, except if you're playing Gemstone Mines, of course, or Gemstone Cavern. And if you can't bring a friend to Friday Night Magic, make sure you bring a friend to Brody's. Let people know, share the stream, hit the like button, the thumbs up. It helps the Bro Show grow, and it lets people like Mike Hatcher know that you're watching. And I thank you folks for giving me the encouragement and support to keep bringing you these Magic the Gathering videos each and every day. I like doing the live stream. We're going to keep on keeping on. Friday, April 21st, 2023. Thanks for joining me. I'll talk to you again real soon. Cartoon video this weekend. I can't wait. I got a really cool cartoon video for you folks this weekend, so I hope you guys tune in and catch that. I haven't drawn it yet, but it's going to be a good one. Know it. Cops are at the door. I got to run. Michael Superbacker, have some fun in the sun. Cosmic Seeds coming all the way from Las Vegas. Benson coming all the way from New Jersey. MTG Gaming Bob in Ohio. Dual Brain in Connecticut. I like to get to know the folks who are watching the show. Liberty Entertainment Ventures. Anybody who's joining in on the channel, thanks for commenting, and we'll talk to you again on Monday. Have a good day.